What is the purpose of a taxi cab in the world of cars? That is a question that gets asked way too frequently, so I think I should just clear it up right now, right off the bat. Taxi cabs do not act as drivers for these cars that, want to get somewhere. Like if Heike wanted to go somewhere, cruising down the streets in Tokyo, he wouldn't just hop inside a Bob Pulley here and go for a ride. That's not how it works in the cars world. Instead, he'd follow behind him and, Bob would show him where to go, basically. At least that's my take on it, and that's, I think the real answer. I don't know if Pixar's ever came out and said it. That's how it really is with taxis, but I'm pretty darn sure because everyone seems to say that. So that's the answer we're going to be going with today. But anyways, welcome on back to the Cars Garage, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bob Pulley. So Bob here, he is of course a Japanese taxi cab from Cars 2. You can see him cruising down the streets of Tokyo in the montage scene when the song You Might Think is playing by Weezer. And Lightning McQueen and Vader are just cruising through Tokyo with their pit crew, Fillmore and Sarge and Louis Dune Guido. And they're just, taking in all the sights and stuff. Of course, they've been stuck in Radiator Springs for the last how many years? Most of them, at least, maybe not McQueen. And Bob Pulley is basically just one of the background characters just driving by. And he's a really detailed background character. I really like him, and I can't wait to take a look at him today. Of course, this is the Thailand-made variant of Bob, which I got in 2021. That's when it was released, the Desert Horizon packaging. Now, I got it under international packaging, because I found it at Toys R Us here in Canada. I wasn't really on vacation, but I was away visiting someone, and we were in London, Ontario, and then I just stopped at the Toys R Us, and I found Bob. I was really excited, because I never really found him again. Actually, I guess I did find him at Toys R Us again later on. But I just don't really care for the international packaging, so I didn't bother buying two. Just wanted to open up. Now I kind of wish I would have, because apparently international packaging is hard to find. But I don't know. It's not around here. Anyways, he's a very cool model of taxi cab. He does share the same model with a few other cars who we'll compare him to later on. But first, let's take a look at his design, because it's really cool. It's always nice to review a Cars 2 car as well, because I love Cars 2, despite all the bad reviews it gets, for all the spy stuff and whatnot. But Bob Pulley is just one of those background characters, so even if you don't like Cars 2, you can't really say nothing bad about him. He's really just, driving by. He's just a very mini-school background character. Anyways, he's got tons of decals on him. Like I said, very highly detailed for being such a minor character. He does have a plastic eye plate on this version, but before 2021, he was actually released in 2016, I believe, in the Cruisin' Through Tokyo the series in that main line that they did in 2016. And of course, they don't do series anymore. They stopped that in 2021, so he was just kind of in the Cars 2 series, I guess, that year. He hasn't been released since, so hopefully one day he gets released again. But, it doesn't really matter if he is or not, because I already have him. But anyways, he does have a plastic eye plate, like I said. Very nice mellow expression. I do like it. Usually the plastic eye plates I'm not a big fan of, but for this guy I think it looks okay. It seems to match his main blue color. Love all the colors on this guy as well. Of course, other than his cyan blue color that he has all around his main body, he obviously also has this red and white line going from his hood on top all the way down to his taillights there, down by his bumper. And at first I couldn't think, why is it red and white? Is that just the colors of the company that he works for? Whatever company that is? But no, of course, I believe, at least, those are the colors of I know it's the colors of the Japanese flag, but I believe that's why he has those colors, I'm assuming, because he is from Japan. So it makes sense, and it's very cool. It's actually a nice little hidden detail, because there is a few other taxi cabs in that Cruising Through Tokyo scene that actually have the same look as Bob, just have a different color. There's one that's orange, and maybe some other colors, although I don't know which ones. There's a cool custom of that Mr. Dockett did a video for probably about a year ago now, so you should go check that out, because it's a really cool variant, and it uses the same Thailand version of Bob. So, I mean, it's essentially the same character, or same car, just orange instead of blue, but it's really cool. It makes it look like a brand new character. A lot of detail on the hood, or the grill here. Nice little intricate squares on the grill. Very nice detailed small rectangular headlights. I think online it said he's a 1976 to 2017 model, but he's definitely not a 2017 model, or even anything from the 2000s at all. I would say he's probably 1970s something model. Toyota Crown Celesta, it said, but I'm not too sure. I mean, he's clearly not a Toyota, but he is based on one, I guess. He's just a really interesting model, and you know, he's not the first to have this model, so I can't give him all the credit, but he does have it, so it's, you know, notable. Very nice. Now, I really like these mirrors, how they're in the front here. It makes a lot of sense. I don't know if Japanese cars do this often in the real world, but I'm assuming maybe they do. It actually looks pretty cool. Like, obviously, for real life cars, when you're in it, looking at the mirror from the side, it's fine. But for a car, their eyes are in front of the mirror, so it never really made sense as to how they actually see out their mirrors. And, you know, wouldn't it be illegal if they couldn't? So, I mean, they can, I guess, but it just doesn't make sense how they can. This makes a lot more sense, because obviously it's in front of their eyes. So, I would say that's a nice little detail Pixar added. It would have been, I mean, all the cars technically should be like this. If you think about it, it makes a lot more sense in the Cars world. But then they would, you know, it wouldn't look as realistic, I guess. Anyways, on the side, he has this really cool checkered flag pattern, which a lot of taxi cabs have. Older taxi cabs, like Fair Game. I believe he has a checkered flag design as well. I don't know if it's meant to be a checkered flag, but I think a lot of taxi cabs have that. Simple rims. They do have some nice little details in it. Pretty, like, intricate design. Cool. And he actually even has some, like, dirt decaling on the sides there. Really detailed, like I said. I can't believe a car like this. I didn't expect him to be this detailed. Anyways, he has a tiny little logo on the side. It says City Taxi. So I'm assuming that's the company he works for. Because unlike Vern from Cars 1, the taxi from the Los Angeles International Speedway, Bob Pulley here does not have his own brand, unfortunately. But he has a few little decals here. This one says the letter A, and he has the same decal and bigger up here. And looks like a pink car decal as well. I'm assuming that's words on there, but I can't read it. He also has the number 139, and some Japanese text I can't make out. I don't know how to read Japanese, but if you do, let me know in the comments what that says. Probably just something simple, I'd assume, like taxi or something like that. Now, he does have on this decal, the City Taxi decal, looks like two people almost, which is really weird. Obviously, people don't exist in the Cars world, so it's an interesting little decal they choose to put. I mean, they do that with Dynaco too. Like, obviously, dinosaurs don't look like they do on the Dynaco, you know, logo and everything, but they still put it on for some reason. I believe Fillmore has a little bumper sticker of like a rhinoceros or something, so obviously that doesn't make any sense either, but oh well. Really cool on the back end of things. I really like his taillight design. Very modern for such an old car from the 70s. I mean, not modern, it just, I think this trend of the connected taillights has kind of came back. I guess they're not really connected, but, you know, there is a huge black spot separating them, but still, they look like they're connected. A lot of silver trim on Bob as well, so he's pretty pristine looking. He's kind of classy, in a way. Nice little license plate there, 0285, number 52 on top, whatever that means, and some Japanese writing, which I also can't read. Once again, the number 139 for some reason. I really like this little window decal he has back here on his plastic window insert. Don't know exactly what that is, but it looks very Japanese. It actually looks like Bob's rims. It actually really does. I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be, but it certainly looks like it to me. But this side is really the same as the other side. I don't think there's any differences. He still has the dirt decaling. Very nice. And this tire, for some reason, this back tire here on the right side is the only one that has text on it. It says Tokyo with an E instead of a Y. And some other writing I can't make out there. It might be in Japanese, actually. Maybe that's why. Now, also, something to note, Bob has these little things on his front windows here on both sides. I don't know exactly what they are, but it almost reminds me of, I've seen before, it's like a little protector from the sun, so you don't get the glare, but it doesn't really make sense for a living car to have this, because once again, cars do not see out their windows. They see from the front, where their eyes are. So, I don't know. Pixar are breaking the fourth wall a bit sometimes. But he also has this little decal on top, which is like inserted in, just plastic. It says City Taxi once again, which leads me to believe that is the company name that he works for. But I'm interested to know, why isn't it the word city and taxi in Japanese? I find that kind of weird and interesting. Also, he has two little amber orange colored lights there. I don't know if those are plastic inserts or not. I think they are, actually. At first I didn't think so, but maybe they are. Yeah, this is very confusing little thing on the back. I didn't actually know Bob even had that until I opened him up last year. This was actually the second car I ever did a showcase on, so if you want to check that out, you could. It's not great quality, but when I made it, I thought it was. Just over a year ago now. Seems like way longer. But anyways, here's the base. P22A is his date stamp. I think that means 22nd week of 2021, but I'm not quite sure. Made in Thailand, of course. Mattel. But yeah, he's a very cool car. I really like Bob. And now, let's compare him to some other taxi cabs that we have, because there's quite a few taxi cabs, like I said, in the world of cars. Here's Vern. I wish I had just the regular version of Vern. Unfortunately, I only had this lenticular version. I actually remember finding Vern. Me and my mom went out to find him and Jay Lemo. I had a report that he was being found in my city, so I had to go check it out and see. I was pretty young though. And sure enough, I found him at this tiny little store. It's kind of a weird spot to find him. It was like a CD or movie store or something like that. But he's not in the best of shape, so it's not a great comparison. Obviously, they are completely different. So much more metal on Bob. But I just wanted to show him, since he is the first taxi cab that we ever got in the world of cars. I gotta say, Bob definitely triumphs over Vern in terms of looks. I think it looks way better. And here's one more taxi cab that I have. I know I said there's a bunch and I only have two to show, but I think the only other one there is Fair Game, but don't quote me on that. There might be a few more. This one is Chauncey Fairs, the London taxi. So we got a taxi for Tokyo, got a taxi for London, but we didn't get one for Porto Corsa, Italy in Cars 2. So that's kind of unfortunate. I kind of wish we did get one now. Have them all side by side. But I guess if they released the orange version of Bob, I guess that will make up for it. Give us 3 taxis from Cars 2, hopefully. I feel like I'm forgetting one, but I know I'm probably not. But yeah, Chauncey Fairs is a really cool car. Really awesome model, because he looks just like the taxi cabs do in London, England. So I'll have to review him one day. That's enough taxis, though, for now. Here is Trent Grotto, very similar to Ido-san from Tokyo Mater, who I don't have, unfortunately. He was the first one to have this exact model, and Trent Grotto is basically a carbon copy of him with the luggage in the back. Exact same model as Bob, even has the same rims, same little thing on the window there, which I still don't know what it is. Same, pretty much same taillights, I mean. Different license plate, luckily. Actually, the taillights are pretty different, but like the same die-cast mold for the most part. Of course, Bob has the hole in the head for the little city taxi thing to go in. But he even has the same mirrors in the same spot, so they're definitely pretty similar. Of course, Trent's made from China. Bob is from Thailand. I don't think that the Chinese one has a plastic eye plate, but I'm not sure because I don't have that one. Maybe I'll get it one day, but probably not. Yeah, Trent was actually a deluxe because he had this luggage, so not a great deluxe because obviously he's not all that big. But I actually have quite a few that have similar models to Bob, but none of them are the exact same. Here's Gen Tan Sedan. I actually just showed on my other review of, the guy's name, oh yeah, Andrew Vrooman. Really cool truck we did a review on. But this is like the more American design for this model. I'm assuming probably wouldn't be mimicking a Toyota as much. Probably looks like an old Ford or maybe a Pontiac or something, but obviously they don't have real models on them, real model brand names. They're just Pixar creations. Here's another one that's pretty darn similar from Cars 1 this time. Sarah Wilson. I feel like I'm always comparing Sarah Wilson to Cars for some reason. I guess she just has a basic model. This one is not the exact same though. Definitely a little smaller. And headlights, taillights, like that's all different. Still has double doors though. Very different on the back end of things. Sarah's a very boring car from the back. I don't really like that. Should have at least had a license plate. Luckily, Bob has a unique license plate. I think it's unique at least, although I don't know. I think it was released in a time where Mattel liked to reuse some license plates, so I'm not quite sure if it's unique or not, but I think it is. But anyways, here's the last one I have, a Chuck Manifold. I don't know what's wrong with my Chuck Manifold, why it has this weird white thing on the eyes there. It looks like whiteout or something. I don't know, it's been like that ever since I opened him quite a few years ago from the package. I don't know how it got there, but he's definitely the most different one. They're pretty different with the model. Just a similar shape. Yeah, he's definitely more similar to Sarah Wilson, but I don't think they're the exact same if you put them right up next to each other. But anyways. Okay, now I have one more car to show that I think just looks awesome next to Bob. Probably one of his best friends. It is Taya Decatora, the Tire Talkie truck, I guess. I don't know if it's a truck or not. It's more like a van, kind of. But it's a really cool die-cast Mattel made. It has obviously appeared in the same scene. And it has Francesco with like a giant TV screen on the side. With Francesco and some van. And he's on some kind of talk show called Tire Talkie, I guess. Playing soccer, of all things. It's a really cool truck, though. Ton of plastic on it. Maybe I'll have to do a review of this guy eventually. He's actually not even fitting into the frame here. You can see on top, he has some pretty cool decals. Or not decals, but like little accessories. It says Tire Talkie, and I think the exact same thing, but in Japanese. It's interesting how some of these things are translated into English. Like I said, the city taxi logo, like that's English for some reason. But then, so was Tire Talkie, but then they included the Japanese version as well. There's definitely more Japanese cars in Japan than there is American cars, so you'd think they would have just done it all Japanese writing, but it makes it easier for us to read as collectors. So I'm really glad I thought to bring in Taya Decatura, because I almost forgot. I guess we'll bring in Heike as well, because he was appearing in a similar scene, I think, maybe the same scene. Anyways, always nice to get a new Cars 2 car to review. Not new, but I have a few more Cars 2 cars that I'm thinking of right now that I kind of want to do reviews on. Like Nick Pittire, who is Nigel Grizzly's Pity. Definitely got to do a review of him soon, because he's an awesome diecast. Can't wait to take a look at him, and hopefully some more Cars 2 cars eventually, because I know I do a lot of Cars 3, and quite a bit of Cars 1, but it's just because that's what Mattel seems to release the most of, and when I open a new car, it's usually to do with Cars 3. But I definitely like Cars 2 cars better. I enjoy reviewing them more, and I think you guys enjoy watching them more too. Maybe we'll end up doing Shoot Todoroki soon, because everyone likes World Grand Prix racers, so who knows. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all next time on the Cars Garage.